Hello and welcome everyone, it's Capcan, and today we are looking at our Feral Druid talent tree from the Dragonflight beta currently. Yeah, so in this beautiful view of the Stormwind City, we are gonna start looking at the talents, and for 1 second, no, I think for 1 second, let's check if they are right and there is no timeouts and there's no like setbacks, and the patch version is right on PTR. So yeah, it's right, it's like on the WoW head, which means that's what we're looking at. And our first talent is Tiger's Fury. So instant 30 seconds cooldown, instantly restores 50 energy and increases the damage of all your attacks by 15% for their full duration, lasts 10 seconds. So nothing new here. Omen of Clarity. Your auto attacks have a chance to cause a clear casting state, making your next shred, thrash, and or swipe cost no energy. Okay, so additional like clear casting procs for your abilities to not cost anything. Then we go with Primal Clause. Your combo point generating abilities have a 10% chance to generate one extra combo point, which probably you're gonna take, and there's 2 points in this talent, so yeah, you're just having additional generation of combo points, which is quite neat. Primal Wrath, so it's finisher, 20 energy, 8 yards range, finishing move that deals instant damage and applies rip to all enemies within 8 yards, lasts longer per combo point. Okay, so yeah, some instant damage plus rip for seconds with finisher, pretty good. Merciless Strikes, shred deals 20% increased damage and swipe deals 10% increased damage against bleeding targets, so additional damage on bleeding enemies. Predator, the cooldown on Tiger's Fury resets when a target dies with one of your bleed effects active, and Tiger's Fury lasts 5 additional seconds with one of your bleed effects active. Okay, so you're just having way better uptime on your Tiger's Fury if you're killing enemies, and it's gonna be 100% good in M+. Yeah, last additional seconds as well, so you have just very good talent. Overall, double clawed rake. Rake also applies rake to one additional nearby target, so more bleeds generation on your enemies near you. So additional like AoE stuff here, or at least cleave. Protective growth. Your regrowth protects you, reducing all damage you take by 5%, while your regrowth is on you. So okay, so just additional defenses if you're gonna self heal. Sabertooth. Ferocious Bite deals 20% increased damage and increases all damage dealt by Reap by 4% per combo point spent for 4 seconds. Okay. That looks kind of good, of course, as well. Tireless Energy. Maximum energy is increased by 30 and then 60, and energy regeneration increased by 20%. So that's very big increase for your maximum energy, which is quite cool. And of course, energy regeneration. You're probably gonna take it mostly because of your energy regeneration, but maximum energy cap increased is pretty good as well. Pouncing Strikes. While stealthed, Rake also stunned the target for 4 seconds. Okay, and deals 60% increased damage. While stealthed, Shred deals 60% increased damage, has double the chance to critically strike, and generates one additional combo point. To be honest with you guys, I'm not really that hard into Druid and Druid melee forms especially. Therefore, I don't really... I may not know some stuff in the class. I know like general overall things, and to my knowledge, Rake didn't stun. But if there was like talents or stuff like that that was added in Shadowlands or just was in the game present, then it's my bad, of course. I'm sorry, but for me this looks quite interesting. And of course, like additional like stun when you're stealth, it's gonna be very good in PvP, 100%. And for some other encounters it can be quite useful again, and the additional damage and shred while you're stealthed is great as well. Lunar Inspiration. Moonfire is usable in cat form, costs 30 energy and generates 1 combo point. So that's if you want to weave in some Moonfires into your kitty cat rotation. Now let's go. Oh, that looks interesting and a little bit weird, but okay. Sudden Ambush. Finishing moves have a 5% chance per combo point spent to make your next rake or shred deal damage as though you were stealthed. Okay, so yeah, with this talent, with stance on rake, it's very interesting how much crowd control are you gonna pop in single target encounters in PvP. Infected wounds, rake damage, so very big, very big like emphasis on you using on like rake and stuff, which is quite interesting. And like the thing that you can stun 2 targets as well if they're melee in PvP. Pretty interesting. Rake damage increased by 30% and rake causes an infected wound in the target, reducing the target's movement speed by 20% for 12 seconds. Man, that's 100% like PvP talent. Of course, damage increase is good for everywhere, but additional movement speed reduction, even though it's only 20%, but at least for 12 seconds. Predatory Swiftness. Your finishing moves have a 20% chance per combo point to make your next regrowth or entangling roots instant, free, and castable in all forms. So either additional crowd control or additional healing in your like cat form. With 20% chance per combo point means that if you have 5 combo points, then it's gonna proc 100%, which is quite cool. It's a little bit of this hybrid flavor in here, so like you're gonna heal more often. It's gonna, like, I guess it's gonna be filled by your group. Like if you'd like to compare yourself to Rogue, you're healing from time to time. It even looks like, yeah, it even looks similar or maybe even a little bit better than on the Paladins with their like additional free heals, no cast times when they're just damaging enemies. With flash heal, or yeah, with their fast heal. So then we go with Rampant Ferocity. Not then, but before. Ferocious Bite hits all nearby enemies affected by your Reap. For 25% of the damage dealt, damage reduced beyond 5 targets. Okay, so you're stacking your Reap with, for example, Primal Wrath on the AoE, and then you're using your Ferocious Bite, and it goes off to multiple targets, which is quite good. Then we have choose one or another. Raging Fury. Finishing moves extend the duration of Tiger's Fury by 0.4 seconds per combo point spent, which means on 5 combo points it's gonna be 5 on 4, it's gonna be 2 seconds. So each finisher is 2 additional seconds on Tiger Fury uptime, which is quite good. And then the Tiger's Tenacity. Tiger's Fury causes your next 3 finishing moves to restore 1 combo point. Either or you're generating additional... Okay, so that's for you to prolong your burst cooldown, and that's for you to get better value out of the cooldown, and in shorter times. Right? Berserk Heart of the Lion. Each combo point spent reduces the cooldown of Berserk by 0.5%. That's our Berserk. Go Berserk for 20 seconds, while Berserk finishing moves have a 20% chance per combo point spent to refund combo points. Swipe generates, rake and shred, deal damage as though you were stealth. Okay, so additional decreases, and here we have 3 minutes cooldown and half a second. Each combo point spent reduces so by 0.5 seconds. It means that 2.5 seconds from full combo point spender, and that's gonna be quite good increase of uptime of the buff, by the way. Then we will have, we're gonna look at our center part of the tree, Berserk. Oh, so you don't really have it until you learn it. Alright, so yeah, we've already read it. So go Berserk. Finishing moves have a 20% chance per combo point spent to refund 2 combo points. Swipe generates additional combo point, and Shake and Shred deal damage as though you were stealthed, which is quite powerful with this talent. Yeah, quite interesting. So, right, Moment of Clarity. Moment of Clarity now triggers 50% more often. Moment of Clarity is this thing which gives you free ability uses. Now triggers 50% more often, can accumulate up to 2 charges, and increases the damage of your next Shred, Thrash, or Swipe by 15%. Okay, so even more emphasis on you procking stuff and going out of these procs, stacking them, then using your cooldowns, then using your probably all of your stacked clarity abilities. Survival Instincts reduces all damage you take by 50% for 6 seconds on 3 minutes cooldown, which is quite massive. Then let's go with our right part of the tree. Tear Open Wounds. Primal Wrath is this spender. Consumes up to 4 seconds of rip damage on targets it hits and deals 75% of it instantly. Oh, so that's for you to like spam it as a finisher on AoE targets. So you're stacking your combo points, then you're applying rip to everyone and dealing some burst damage, then you're stacking again, and then when you're using it, you're consume up to 4 seconds of rip damage. Yeah, and probably while you, if you use it on 5 combo points, for example, yes, it's 12 seconds duration. Your next combo points are gonna be probably generated in like 3, 4, 5 seconds, which means that its duration is gonna go up to like 7 seconds, and then with this talent you're gonna lower it to 3 seconds. Then you will deal 75% of the damage instantly, and then you're gonna recharge it up to 12 seconds with the Primal Wrath itself. So, and you're not really losing that much time of the rip, even if you're applying it with your 5 combo points, which is quite good. Yeah, that's like your AoE finisher. Here you have some additional AoE damages for the ripped targets. Taste for Blood. Ferocious Bite deals 2% increased damage for each of your bleeds on the target. Okay, very good. So that's probably more kind of like single target oriented, because but well, no, it of course can be. You can stack many bleeds on AoE targets, but probably more of them are gonna be easier to have a good uptime on your single target. For 4% increased. Dreadful Bleeding. Rip damage increased by 15%. So it's both dot damage increased and burst damage on AoE packs increased due to how this talent works here. Relentless Predator. Energy cost of Ferocious Bite is reduced by 20%, which means that yes, everything costs cheaper. Berserk Frenzy. During Berserk, your combo point generating abilities bleed the target for an additional 150% of the damage over 8 seconds. During combo point generating. So your with this talent, your Berserk is even more powerful of a cooldown. And you want both this and this talents in order for it to be good. Well, like every single talent here is quite good. Maybe not some, maybe some utility ones are they are utility ones, and of course they are useful, but they are not looking just like very hot. But damage talents are pretty good. Now choose one or another. Brittle Slash or Wild Slashes. Brittle Slash replaces Swipe, 6.7 seconds recharge, instant, 25 seconds energy strikes all nearby enemies with a massive slash, inflict inflicting physical damage deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets, awards 1 combo point, okay, and maximum 3 charges. Or Wild Slasher, swipe and thrash damage is increased by 20%. Oh, so that's like very situational. You need to calculate the numbers of the damages in different styles of situations to know which one is better. But it's good that we have choices again. More choices, always cool. Let's go with the bottom part of the tree. Cat's Curiosity. Clear cast abilities generate 25% of their energy cost. So you're even generating... Oh man, it's very cool. It's very cool how you can invest into clarity and then get even like energy out of your clear casted abilities. So yeah, like, you know, talents that you can combine with to increase one particular mechanic is pretty spread out here. So for clear casting, it's here, here, and there. For like Berserk, it's here, here, and here. For Rake, it's here, here, and then for Reap, it's here, here, here. It's a little bit more like all over the place, which is kind of cool. It urges you to be creative and create more interesting paths. Let's go with second, with next stuff. Either Vein Reaper or Reap and Tear. Reap, Rake, and Thrash last 25% longer. Okay, so you have your dots up way better. Or applying Reap to a target also applies a Tear that deals 6% of the new Reap's damage over 6 seconds. So either you have your debuffs longer or you're applying... Probably this talent with Reap is for like AoE shenanigans with Primal Wrath. And like Vein Reaper is just kind of overall increase of your dots uptime. Apex Predator's Craving. Reap damage has 4% chance to make your next ferocious bite free and deal the maximum damage. Okay. Quite interesting. Then we have Soul of the Forest. Your finishing moves grant 3 energy per combo point spent and deal 5% increased damage. Do they deal 5% increased damage or 5% increased damage per combo point spent? Probably just deal 5% increased damage, because otherwise it was gonna be busted. Yeah, additional energy generation. Like there are quite a lot of different things that can give you free casts, that can give you energy generation, that can give you procs on top of other procs and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go with central part. Frantic Momentum. Finishing moves have a 3% chance per combo point spent to grant 10% haste, and then 6% chance per combo point to grant 10% haste. So it like maybe I'm like not very good at Feral Druid, but overall feel of all the things reminds me a little bit of a enhancement shaman with like. There are so much procs, there are so much free abilities that you can use, there are so much abilities that increase damage after their proc, and then you have your resource refunded, and then you can use them again, and then you can like instantly get this buff and then haste and then spam a bit more here, and then your finisher gives you back energy and stuff like that. So yeah, it looks very, very spammy, which is quite interesting. It's definitely a style to play that if you like to do stuff like that, it's quite cool. So yeah, all right. Now let's see what goes after Soul of the Forest. It's Circle of Life and Death. Your damage over time effects deal their damage in 25% less time, and your healing over time effects in 15% less time. So Circle of Life and Death for now currently was present in every single Druid talent tree that I've saw, and I haven't saw only tank one. Again, it's good to your overall DPS because your dots are gonna do more damage basically, but you have to get them up way more, like way more. And it has interesting like synergy with Primal Wrath and with 4 seconds that we have here. No, here. Yeah, so with this talent, if you're using Primal Wrath and you're like then... Yeah, with this talent, it's probably gonna be, while you're gonna use the next Primal Wrath, it's gonna consume it totally, and you wouldn't really lose any reap damage on the targets if you've used it as soon as possible. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. There are quite a lot of different tinkering that you can do here. So either Incarnation Avatar of Ashmae replaces Berserk, instant 3 minutes cooldown, an improved cat form that grants all of your known Berserk effects. Oh, so it grants all of your known Berserk effects and lasts 30 seconds. You may shapeshift in and out of this improved cat form for its duration. During Incarnation, energy cost of all cat forms abilities is reduced by 20%, and Prowl can be used once while in combat. Okay, so definitely looks sweet for the PvP. I don't know if the procs are gonna like be like Berserk, like this proc. Is it probably it's gonna be present because you're all your known Berserk effects, which means that yeah, you're gonna reduce the cooldown of this thing as well. And your Berserk lasts 20 seconds. Here we have 30 seconds uptime. Man, it's with these abilities, either very good buff or that gives you tons of damage and energy costs are reduced. Or like Convoke the Spirits that call upon it's our Night Fae Covenant ability, signature ability that was prominent during the Shadowlands. Call upon the Night Fae for an eruption of energy, channeling a rapid flurry of 16 Druid spells and abilities over 4 seconds, 2 minutes cooldown. You will cast Ferocious Bite, Shred, Moonfire, Wrath, Regrowth, I guess less, Rake and Thresh on appropriate nearby targets, favoring your current shapeshift form. Yeah, so it's very hard choice. I have no idea what is better here, but they both look kinda good. Not kinda good, very good. Ashmae's Guidance. Passive. Your melee attacks have a chance to activate Incarnation Avatar of Ashmae for 6 seconds without the ability to enter stealth in combat. Okay, or Convoke the Spirit's cooldown is reduced by 50% and its duration and number of spells cast is reduced by 25%. Convoke the Spirits has increased chance to use an exceptional spell or ability. So yeah, increase to the buff to the Convoke the Spirits is as usual with other specs, and your Ashmae's Guidance, like you can trigger your Avatar of Ashmae with your auto attack, with your melee auto attacks. But why doesn't it gives us number of approximate procs per minute like it was doing with some other stuff in the other talent trees? Because to know concrete chance is like very good. Yeah, procs, yeah, very, very good talent if you're taking this part. If you're taking this talent, it's gonna be... Oh, an Adaptive Swarm is here! And as I want to remind you, as I did already on Restoration Druid, we had our Adaptive Swarm in... we have our Adaptive Swarm still in Resto Druid. We don't have it in Boomkin after the last iteration, but we have other interesting stuff. And here we have Command Day Swarm that heals for some amount or deals shadow damage over 12 seconds to a target that increases effectiveness of your periodic effects on them by 25%, which is kind of broken on like single target. Upon expiration, finds a new target, preferring an alternate between friend and foe up to 3 times. So yeah, it's interesting. Don't really know how it's gonna be. How is it gonna be good against other choices that you have here? But yeah, looks good as well. Adaptive Swarm has a 60% chance to split into 2 swarms each time it jumps. So again, this talent had Resto Druid had this talent as well. So you can like spread them all over the enemies, which is quite kind of cool and very interesting. Okay, let's go with Carnivorous Instinct. Tiger's Fury damage bonus is increased by 6 and then 12%. Wait a second. Tiger's Fury damage bonus is increased by 12%, which means that to this 15% we have additional 12%, which is like 1.5%. Probably not, because it's just like too little. Probably like it's gonna be 27% instead of 15%, because like, yeah, if it was like only 1 to 2% increase, it was gonna be garbage. Choose one. Either Lion's Strength, Ferocious Bite and Rip deal increased damage, which is like just very good. When you use Orb Blood Talons. When you use 3 different combo point generating abilities within 4 seconds, the damage of your next 2 Rips and Ferocious Bites is increased by 30%. So this one definitely looks way sketchier to use, way more harder to use. Yeah, ifs are always unwelcome, but you still can, like, your rotation is gonna be harder with this part, and you're gonna need to check more stuff, but you can be granted pretty big damage increase, or just like straight up push your base abilities with any in any queue, in any like 1 by 1, or just one, or just spam one ability, and it's gonna be good with this one. Quite kind of interesting. Okay, I'm like losing a lot of words today. Something's wrong with the brain. Feral Frenzy, 25 energy, 45 seconds cooldown, instant, unleashes a furious frenzy, clawing your target 5 times for 900 damage and an additional 7000 bleed damage over 6 seconds. Award combo point. Yeah, melee range, so just an additional bursty bleeding cooldown that goes onto the single target enemy, which like probably not the thing that you're gonna take in M+, but we're gonna see. Pretty cool talent tree, like, yeah, definitely a good amount of choice here. Definitely, maybe not as much new stuff as you could have get in other specializations. And again, it's kind of hard to give something that new to the druids, but still very interesting. Interesting manipulations and stuff that can be done here. Thanks for watching. Hope you're doing well, and subscribe to the channel if you don't mind to do it, because it's gonna be very cool for me. And goodbye.